Here it is. It's in front of us. We've just been ignoring it and hoping that it would go away. Obviously, it's not.
Buffalo pastor Darius Pridgen reacts to the stunning statements made by a man following a possible hate crime. And this is our follow-up to a story we brought you first yesterday, one that is generating a strong tide of reaction. News 4's Ed Dranch brings us the very latest tonight. Ed?
Jackie, it's interesting to see the mix of comments we've been getting. Some support this man, while others are upset and angered by what he said. But one city leader says those comments have opened a necessary Pandora's box.
People in these neighborhoods don't want those type of people moving down here and ruining the property value and destroying the neighborhood. So when things like that happen, it shouldn't be such a shock.
What do you mean by those types of people?
Minorities. African Americans.
The comments made by this South Buffalo man have created a buzz in Buffalo. Friday morning, he called into the Shred and Reagan show, hoping to set the record straight.
I think what's come across is you believe black people ruin neighborhoods.
Well, they just happen to ruin this one. They're starting to ruin this one, yeah.
But, you know,
I'm not going to take back what I said because I firmly believe in what I said.
Following the story of a black man who was burned out of his home last year, this man's opinion was just one that we heard. Do you think there's anything wrong with what you're saying?
I don't feel there's anything wrong with it.
Those comments helped open a dialogue about race relations in the city.
Well, I'm going to be honest. When I first heard it, it blew my socks off. I couldn't believe it.
Reverend Darius Pridgen used the interview as a conversation piece on his radio show. He says our interview exposed what many think but don't say, even in 2012.
I was almost kind of happy about it. And the reason I was happy about it is because if I bring up race, then people say he's bringing up the race card because I am African American. But to hear somebody else bring up race and to be very honest about how they felt, it was almost like a aha moment. We can finally have this conversation that there are people who still feel that whole groups of people are wrong because of the actions of a few.
Seeing the intense reaction, we took the interview to Mayor Byron Brown.
I think those kinds of views have no place in our society today. We need to be a tolerant people. We need to be people that respect the diversity of this community.
Here it is. It's in front of us. We've just been ignoring it and hoping that it would go away. Obviously, it's not.
Many of you have been responding on our Facebook page. Here's what Pat had to say. She's a former resident of the Old First Ward. Quote, not a shock to see the unnamed resident talk so openly about his prejudice. Alicia said a lot of people in the East and West and South Buffalo have been there for generations, so they only have that knowledge of what they surround themselves with. I notice the kids can play together fine until they get that negative adult influence that has been passed down through the years. You too can sound off on our Facebook page. Just search for WIVB at 6.